Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Durlabhamanasho Deho Dehinam Shana Bhangurai Tatrapi Durlabham Manye Vaikuntha Priyadarshinaha Aradhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Varagena Va Kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamavalam prema pumartho mahan Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhur matamidam tatradharana paraha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining in the reading of the nectar of all the holy scriptures, the condensed nectar of all the holy scriptures in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Amalam Puranam. So we are reading Canto 10, Chapter 8, entitled Lord Krishna Shows the Universal Form. And we read till text number 19. So let's move forward and read the next verse, text number 20. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Atmanam Samadishya Garge Cha Swagriham Gate Nanda Pramodito Manmene Atmanam Purnam Ashisham. Translation and purport by Abhijnana Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Śrīla Shukadeva Goswami continued. After Garga Muni, having instructed Nanda Maharaj about Krishna, departed for his own home, Nanda Maharaj was very pleased and considered himself full of all good fortune. Purport: Krishna is the super soul and Nanda Maharaj is the individual soul. By the instructions of Garga Muni, both of them are blessed. Nanda Maharaj was thinking of Krishna's safety from the hands of demons like Putana and Shakatasura. And because he possessed such a son, he thought of himself as most fortunate. Hare Krishna. So the Namkaran ceremony is over. In the cowshed by Garga Muni, he gave beautiful names to Balaram first and then Krishna. And then not only that, he told about a lot of great qualities and hinted in multiple ways that how Krishna is Narayana Sama, as good as Narayana. And Nanda Maharaj was very, very happy, certainly, and very, very fortunate, feeling very fortunate that he has received such two wonderful children. And both of them were blessed. Krishna is the super soul and Nanda Maharaj is the individual soul. Nanda Maharaj about Krishna. Nanda Maharaj was thinking of Krishna's safety from the hands of demons like Putana and Shakatasura. I think we discussed this point which Garga Muni told that be careful and cautious. So Nanda Maharaj has been thinking about Krishna's safety, especially three demons had already come, namely Putana, Shakatasur, and Trinavrata. And he is just feeling blessed and fortunate to get such a beautiful son. Kalina vrajat alpena gokule ramakeshavau janubhyam saha panibhyam ringamanau vijahratau vijahratahu. Translation, purport by Abhisharanarvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. After a short time passed, both the brothers Rama and Krishna began to crawl on the ground of Vraja with the strength of their hands and knees, and thus they enjoyed their childhood play. Purport. One Brahmana devotee says, Shrutim apare smritim itare bharatam anye bhajantu bhāvabhītaha aham iha nandam vande yasya linde param brahma. Let others, fearing material existence, worship the Vedas, the Vedic supplementary Puranas, and the Mahabharata. But I shall worship Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Brahman is crawling. For a highly exalted devotee, Kaivalya, merging into existence of the Supreme, appears no better than hell, narakayate. But here one can think of crawling of Krishna and Balaram in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj and always merge in the transcendental happiness. As long as one is absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna Leela, especially Krishna's childhood pastimes, as Parikshit Maharaj desired to be, one is always merged in actual Kaivalya. Therefore, Vyasadeva compiled Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Lokasya Janato Vidvamschakare Sattva Samhitam, Bhagavatam 176. Vyasadeva compiled Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam under the instruction of Narada, so that anyone can take advantage of this literature, think of Krishna's pastimes, and be always liberated. Shrutim apare smritim itare bharatam anye bhajantu bhāvabhītaha aham iham nandam vande yasya linde param brahma. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So in this beautiful verse, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining that after some time, that means after the name giving ceremony, now earlier they were very young infants, and as Krishna could not move around, right? So with this episode, Krishna has started to move around. And the first, when the babies start to move, they walk on their hands and knees, also known as crawling. Janubhyam and Panibhyam. Janu is the knees, and Panibhyam. Pani means hands. Krishna's name is Chakrapani, one who holds chakra in his hands. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. So Pani Bhyam. So this, with the strength, we can relate this picture in our mind, that how Krishna and Balaram must be crawling and doing a lot of childhood playful pastimes. So let's read more of those. Now we come to the second section of chapter 8. Chapter 8 has multiple sections. The first section was primarily about the name giving ceremony after Gargacharya comes. Now the second section is about Krishna's playful pastimes with Sri Balaram, and doing these playful pastimes. And as Prabhupada is mentioning, that remembering these pastimes, especially the childhood pastimes, is real liberation, is actual kaivalya. So we can meditate, we can easily think of those pastimes, we can easily, meditate upon those pastimes rather than meditating upon some impersonal light or some effulgence or all that stuff. That's not recommended, not practical, and it's narakayate. It's no better than hell, as mentioned in the purport. Kevalya narakayati. So let's meditate now on the beautiful pastimes of Krishna Balaram crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Who would like to read this one? Akshay, Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 22. Stava Ankri Yugmam Anukshraya Salispanto Gosa Pragosa Ruchiram Rajakar Demashu Tananda Shista Manasav Anusritya Lokam Mugda Prabhitavad Upayator Antimatra. Translation. When Krishna and Balaram with the scent of their legs fall in the muddy places created in Raja by cow dung and cow urine, their crawling resembled the crawling of serpents, and the sound of their ankle bells were very charming. Very much pleased by the sound of other people's ankle bells, they used to follow these people as if going to their mothers. But when they saw that these were other people, they became afraid and returned to their real mothers, Yashoda and Rohini. Purport. When Krishna and Balaram were crawling about Vrajabhumi, they were enchanted by the sound of ankle bells. Thus, they sometimes followed other people who would enjoy the crawling of Krishna and Balaram and exclaim, "Oh, see how Krishna and Balaram are crawling." Upon hearing this, Krishna and Balaram could understand that these were not their mothers they were following, and they will return to their astral mothers. Thus, the crawling of Krishna and Balaram was enjoyed by the people of the neighborhood, as well as Mother Yashoda and Rohini, and the two children themselves. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Haribol, thank you, Prabhu. So what did you understand from here?
That Krishna and Balaram crawl around Vrindavan, and they try to find their mothers, but they get they get distracted kind of when they hear the ankle bells of mothers.
Thank you. So no children like this melodious sound of the ankle bells. And when these gopis resembling the mother of Krishna Balaram, Rohini and Yashoda, and generally their heads were covered and things like that, so they could not see the face, but they're falling. And then Krishna Balaram are coming, and Mata Yashoda has also put them different ornaments like anklets and bracelets and wonderful ornaments. So they're falling. Krishna and Balaram are falling, the gopis, and then they hold their pallu, their piece of cloth from their like gopi dress, and when these ladies turn and then they see, oh, she's not my mother, and then they will crawl back. They'll crawl back. They'll return to their mothers, Yashoda. So these are the sweet pastimes of Krishna and Balram. I was hearing one class, and the acharyas mentioned very sweet purports also in this connection. Why is Krishna and Balram crawling? Is basically with the janubhyam sapanibhyam, with the legs or the thighs and the hands. So Krishna and Balram are kind of patting, like how do we crawl, like with our palm is touching the surface of the earth. And when generally we pat, we touch the palm. Like if I'm patting myself in this case, I can't pat anyone else. So basically Krishna and Balram are using their pani or hands to pat Mother Earth, like, you see, don't worry, we have come. I don't want you to pat. Don't worry, my child, I'm there with you. Don't worry, my friend, I'm there with you. We're together. We'll, don't worry, Mother Earth. I know you have a lot of kings are torturing you. A lot of kings are increasing the burden on your surface, and a lot of people are doing wrong activities. But don't worry, we have come, right? Don't worry, my child. Don't worry, my dear Mother Earth. Don't worry, Bhu Devi. Now we have come. They're pacifying Mother Earth. So beautiful, right? So sometimes they would turn and look back, and when we look back, or anyone looks back, the three rekha, the three lines on the neck come, and sometimes Balramji would look back and three lines would come. So there's a beautiful meaning to that as well. So those three lines represent conch, right? The conch has those three curved lines which appear in the neck, and conch is the first thing which is used in the arati ceremony, right? That means the arati cannot begin. Arati ends with the conch and begins with the conch, right? It's the first step in the arati and the last step in the arati, and everything is in the middle, packed, right? So that conch represents Balramji. That Balramji represents Guru. That means there is no Krishna Bhakti without Guru Bhakti. Beautiful point. There is no Krishna Bhakti without Guru Bhakti. The prayers of the spiritual master are chanted before every class and after every class, right? They begin with Prabhupada Pranam Mantra, or prayers to the Mangalacharan, and end with Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any service, cooking, offering bhoga, offering chanting, offering any service, it begins with Guru, ends with Guru. Because without Guru, there is no service to Krishna. So that's another beautiful meaning when Krishna and Balram turn back, and those three beautiful lines come on his neck, and connecting that to conch, connecting that to Balram, connecting that to Guru. Any more comments, thoughts anyone has in this connection? Hare Krishna. Let's read the next one. Anyone wants to read text 23? Who wants to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I?
Yes, Prabhu. Please.
Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Tanmatrau nija sutau grihnya sunuve tau pankaja raga ruchair upagre dorapyam datva stanam prabhibhotas smamukam nirikshya mukta samitalpa dasanam yayatau pramodam. Sorry. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dressed with muddy earth mixed with cow dung and cow urine, the babies looked very beautiful. And when they went to their mothers, both Yashoda and Rohini picked them up with great affection, embraced them, and allowed them to suck the milk flowing from their breasts. While sucking the breast, the baby smiled, and their small teeth were visible. Their mothers, upon seeing those beautiful teeth, enjoyed great transcendental bliss. Perfect. As the mothers cared for their respective babies by the arrangement of Yogamaya, the babies thought, "Here is my mother," and the mothers thought, "Here is my son." Because of affection, milk naturally flowed from their mother's breast, and the babies drank it. When the mothers saw small teeth coming in, they would count them and be happy. And when the babies saw their mothers allowing them to drink their breast milk, the babies also felt transcendental pleasure. As this transcendental affection continued between Rohini and Balaram, and Yashoda and Krishna, they enjoyed transcendental bliss. Very good. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Here you can see the transcendental bliss being enjoyed by both the mothers and the sons, Krishna Balaram and Rohini Mata and Yashoda Mata. So we see that when the mothers are very happy seeing their sons, the milk naturally flows. We have seen this even with the cows and the calves earlier. So that is the affection of the faded affection of mother. And you nicely explained about crawling, Prabhuji. So I like that very much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please have Hare Krishna.
Sorry, the calling? I missed that.
Oh, crawling, Prabhuji, as
Crawling.
if crawling, yeah, patting Mother Earth. So I like that point very much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. I just repeated what I heard. Thank you. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Krishna is patting, encouraging Mother Earth, pacifying. So, in this beautiful verse, each and every kind of a word is so deep if we meditate upon that, right? Let's go a little deeper in this meaning of this. How they were dressed. They were wearing a beautiful dress. Panka anga rag ruchirau. The anga, the bodies, they were beautifully, the transcendental bodies were covered with muddy cow dung and cow urine. Krishna and Balaram are having this. Nowadays people do like mud bath, but this is real panchagavya. This is real, the substances from the cow. Cow is like a mother. So cow dung is also very, very purifying. The excretion of other animals is very, very dirty, foul. And if one touches it, one has to, basically take a bath at least, if not more. These days, people, every day we go for a walk and we see people take great pride in picking the dog excretion. But anyways, not going in that zone. But the point is that cow urine and cow dung are pure. They're used for yagyas, they're used for abhishek and multiple ceremonies. There are deities made up on Govardhan Day. People make Govardhan out of cow dung in Vrindavan especially. And in multiple homes, it was a common culture. I've seen multiple homes, but nowadays it's going. So in short, cow dung is very, very pure, very healthy, very, very antiseptic, and cow urine. And it's used even to cure cancer. So their bodies were covered with this mixture from Mother Earth. And they looked very beautiful. They are still very tender. They cannot walk. They are crawling. Janibhyam sapanibhyam. And then their mothers come and pick the respective babies. Yashoda picks Krishna, Rohini picks Balram, and embraces them and starts to feed them their breast milk, which is basically unalloyed affection and pure prema in the form of milk. And also Mugdha Smita Alpa Das Dashanam. Mugdha Smita. They were smiling, Alpa, with their little teeth. Alpa means small. Coming out of their mouth were the little teeth. That means, they were not too big. The boys were not too big. They were just getting their milk teeth. And seeing all that, both were happy. Both means what? The babies are happy drinking the milk of the mothers, and the mothers are happy seeing the joy of the babies. And I shared this beautiful stanza or theme. You may have seen this, right? I shared, I'm not sure. I was reading Bhagavad Gita, I found this and thought to, put this together. The analogy is given in chapter 9, text 29 of Bhagavad Gita. Let's read that. So the gold ring represents the devotee, and Krishna represents the diamonds. Maybe anyone likes to read this particular section? Just this part of the purport. Anyone wants to read this? Yeah.
Whoever surrenders unto me, my proportionality, I take care of them. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in gold ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter. And when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is diamond. And so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. Very good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Isn't it beautiful? Living entities in pure state are called devotees. We are trying to be devotees. I'm trying to be devotee. All of you are very nice devotees. But it's such a deep that both the Lord and the devotee glitter with this reciprocal relationship. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter. When a living entity becomes inclined to serve the Supreme Lord, then it comes in its pure form. That is the golden form, the gold in its pure. That's what is happening here. Yashoda and Rohini are are glittering, are in transcendental bliss, because they're in their purest state of offering unalloyed Krishna prem. And for a mother to offer milk, is a sign of great love to the child. The mother feels great happiness, unalloyed love in the form of milk. And the child is happy to receive that milk. So Krishna is happy to see exchange the love of, to reciprocate with the love of his devotee. And the devotee is happy to give that love to the Lord. This is the most healthy and beneficial combination for both parties. The Lord is happy seeing the happiness of devotee, and the devotee is happy seeing the happiness of the Lord. The Lord's happiness grows seeing the happiness of devotee, and the devotee happiness grows seeing the happiness of the Lord. And like that, the transcendental competition keeps going on, as we read in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. This is Krishna consciousness. This is bhakti. This is pure prema. This is the exchange in Raja. Any more thoughts, comments, anyone? Okay, Manjali, pray. You want to read next verse?
Hare Krishna. Text 24. Yar hai angana darshaniya kumalilava antar vrajetat abala pragrihita puche vatse itastat ubhav anukrishyamano prekshantya uchita grihajashur hasantya. Translation in Prabhupada Prabhupada. Within the house of Nand Maharaj, the cowherd ladies would enjoy seeing the pastimes of the babies Rama and Krishna. The babies would catch the ends of the calves' tails, and the calves would drag them here and there. When the ladies saw these pastimes, they certainly stopped their household activities and laughed and enjoyed the incidents. Prabhupada. While crawling in curiosity, Krishna and Balaram would sometimes catch the ends of the tails of calves. The calves, feeling that someone had caught them, would begin to flee here and there, and the babies would hold on very tightly, being afraid of how the calves were moving. The calves, seeing that the babies were holding them tightly, would also become afraid, and the ladies would come to rescue the babies and gladly laugh. This was their enjoyment. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Any comments? Anyone? I think this is beautifully depicted in some of the little Krishna videos as well. I don't have this handy actually. I found one here. Let's look at these beautiful pictures which display these beautiful pastimes. So Krishna would catch these calves' tail, right? These days there are sports like, I don't know what it is called. They tie a rope to the boat and the boat runs in water and then the person surfing or something like, it's not surfing, but I don't know what someone can tell me what it's called. I don't know much.
Surfing.
Surfing? Surfing is on the waves, right? That's a little different. Like you catch, they're holding the like a rope on the boat is moving with the engine and the person is, it's kind of surfing with some motorized. You see, there's also a beautiful picture here. There's a beautiful picture here as well. But yeah, this explains the. So everyone would take great joy in watching these childhood playful activities of Krishna and Balram, right? They would run and catch they would run, crawl, and catch the tails of the cows and the calves, and then they would run hither and thither, and everyone would have a fun time. And their bodies, remember, are already covered with cow dung and cow urine, and the whole Vrindavan is always covered with the with the dust of the hoofs of cows and the gopis and the Vrajavasis and the cow urine and the cow milk and the cow dung. So the Lord likes to play in that. The Lord likes, this is Vrindavan, this is Vraja, where the Lord did these beautiful pastimes. And therefore we read in the previous verse, even, great aham iha nandam vande yasya linde param brahma. So in whose courtyard let others fearing material existence worship the Vedas and the Vedic. So a great devotee has said this. Let others worship big scriptures, big verses, big prayers and all. But I worship Nanda Maharaj. Yasya alinde, in whose courtyard the Supreme Parabrahman was crawling. It's a beautiful verse. Shrutim apare smritim itare bhartam anye bhajantu bhavabhitaha. Bhavabhitaha means fear of material existence. So let others anye bhajantu bharatam, referring to Mahabharat here. Shruti, Smriti, Adi, Itare, Bharatam, Mahabharat, Anya. Let others worship all that stuff. But what will I do? Aham iha Nandam Vande. I worship this Nanda Maharaj. Yasya Linde. In whose courtyard? Yasya Linde. Yasya Alinde Param Brahma. Where Lord Krishna, Param Brahman, what he did, he was doing crawling. So a beautiful meditation. This is, we can, whenever we go to Vrindavan, whenever we go to, at least mentally, we can offer obeisance. At least when we go, we should also crawl there. We should roll in the dust. It's especially recommended when devotees go, and you may have seen. I think recently Kashish Mataji went there and she shared a video of Raman Reti where all the devotees come and then they roll in the dust of Vrindavan. When we went for Kartik Yatra, we also did that. And this is Raja Raja. Krishna himself is doing it. And we will see later. I don't want to kind of spill the beans. Why Krishna ate dirt. There's a whole pastime that's going to come very shortly. And one of the reasons is basically it's the dust of the lotus feet of all the devotees, the cows. Krishna loves his devotees. Krishna loves his cows. And he rolls in that dust. He's crawling in that dust. He's playing in that dust. It's a beautiful meditation for all of us here. Anyone else has any thoughts, comments here? Where did we read? Just the verse. 24 we read, so we'll read 25. Yes, Shilpa Mataji, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, thank you. Shringi Agni Damstri Asi Jala Dvija Kanthakebhya Krida Kridha para paravati chalu swasut swat. Prabhu, could you please read the sloka? I'll read the. I think you would do better.
Sure, I'll try.
Thank you.
Shringi Agni Damshtre Asijwala Dvija Kantakebhyaha Krida Parava Ati Chalau Swasutau Nishedhum Grihayani Kartum Api Yatra Nataj Jan Anyau Shekta Aptur Alam Manaso Anavastham. Hare Krishna,
Thank
please,
you, Prabhu.
Mataji.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: When Mother Yashoda and Rohini were unable to protect the babies from calamities threatened by horned cows, by fire, by animals with claws and teeth such as monkeys, dogs and cats, and by thorns, swords, and other weapons on the ground, they were always in anxiety, and their household engagements were disturbed. At that time, they were fully equipoised in the transcendental ecstasy known as the distress of material affection. For this was aroused within their minds. Purport: all these pastimes of Krishna and the great enjoyment exhibited by the mothers are transcendental. Nothing about them is material. They are described in the Brahma Samhita as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Prabhu, if you can scroll a little bit. Thank you. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. In the spiritual world, there is anxiety, there is crying, and there are other feelings similar to those of the material world. But because the reality of these feelings is in the transcendental world, of which this world is only an imitation, Mother Yashoda and Rohini enjoyed them transcendentally. Hare Krishna. Prabhu. So to what I understood, the same feelings that we have in the material world, like anxiety and crying, and maybe not anger, but other, I don't know, you have to correct me. Maybe these feelings, not maybe, at least anxiety and crying are in the spiritual world also, but the way that Mata Yashoda and Mata Rohini are taking, they are taking in a transcendental way, with meaning with bliss, right? We call it as, if in case there is I mean, just as an example, in material world, if a mother, for example, my son, if he's doing a good job, then it gets tears into our eyes. It's not like we are crying, but it's out of bliss, joy, enjoy. Similarly, Mata Yashoda and Mata Rohini are in transcendental bliss, with that anxiety, that they are not able to do their household works because they're trying to take care of Krishna and Balram, protecting them from the animals, thorns and teeth of dogs, cats, and few other examples which were mentioned in the purport by Prabhu. That's what I understood. Thank you. Please correct. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mata. It's beautiful words, which means which again and again, bhakti does not mean to become a machine. Bhakti is an art to express our loving emotion to God. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes here it's crying. Just Prabhupada is writing, in the spiritual world there is anxiety, there is crying, and other feelings similar to material world, but because the reality of these feelings is in the transcendental world, of which this material world is an imitation. So if there is something in the material world, that's like the shadow or the reflection, right? Or the moolam adha shakha, right? The like the reflection. The Bhagavad Gita also is mentioned. So in the spiritual world, it's in its pure state, transcendental anxiety. In the material world, what is anxiety about? Materialistic things, money, job, health, wealth, home, car, right? But Mata, Yashoda, and Rohini have anxiety about Krishna's well-being. That's their topmost thing. So let's look at some of the terms mentioned here. It's all one word. You know, whenever there is like all connected, you see, it's all one word. We'll focus on this word. Shringi, Agni, Damstri, Asi, Jala, Dvija, Kantakebhya, Krida Parav. So Shringi means those who have sing, horns, sharp horns. The cows, namely the bulls, cows. Agni, we all know fire. Damstri, monkeys, dogs, pigs, like that. Asi, sword. Jala, straightforward water. Dvija, birds have two birds. First bird. Dvija means, technically means, Dvi means two, Ja means Janma. Those who have two Janmas. Teeth are also called Dvija. They have the milk teeth and then the primary and secondary teeth, the adult teeth. The birds first are born from the egg, and then the egg hatches to a bird, or the baby bird. Kantaka means thorns. So like that, they used to play. I mean, you know, kids don't have a lot of intelligence, right? They would put their hand in the fire, right? Not now. We're not talking about ordinary kid, but they're doing Nar Leela. They're acting as ordinary kid. They're acting and doing these naughty, mischievous activities. So children are you know, they don't care. It's fire or water. They just play. For them, you know, they'll put the hands in the mouth of monkeys and dogs. You know, they have sharp teeth, dumbstry. And Shringi, they would play with these animals with sharp horns. Shringi, they would put their hands in the fire. They would put with play in the water, and water snake. They would play with birds. And Srila Harishori explains this beautiful point here, that Krishna is showing that later I'll be doing wonderful leelas with all these aspects of my playing. Let's see what comes with Shringi. Krishna is playing with cows and calves with sharp horns. Krishna is telling that later I will be killing a big bull with sharp horns. Shringi, who knows the name? Harishtasur, yes. Krishna is playing with Agni. Any guesses what he's going to do later? is going to swallow the forest fire twice. Krishna is playing with water and water animals. He is going to subdue. He didn't kill Kaliya. He subdued Kaliya, the water snake. He's putting the hands in the mouths of different animals like monkeys and dogs and stuff. Krishna is showing what to speak of putting hands in the mouth of these animals. I'm going to put my whole self in the body of
Agasura.
Agasura, the big serpent. Krishna is playing with the birds, putting his hands in the mouth of the birds. He's going to kill Bakasura, the big bird. He's walking, he's playing with Kantaka or thorns, denoting that he will remove the thorns from Mother Earth. And who are the thorns from Mother Earth? The mischievous kings, the Asuric mentality people who just cause burden in the form of thorns on Mother Earth. So, with these pastimes or these playful activities, these childhood, funny, unintelligent, innocent, notorious, mischievous activities which Krishna is doing, Krishna is showing great pastimes which he is going to render or do in future. And we can also appreciate the transcendental anxiety of Mata Yashoda and Rohini, because why they have transcendental anxiety? Because they have pure love, right? Now recently a few innocent kids in Texas were killed by a gun shooter. I mean, our heart certainly pains, but I'm sure none of us are experiencing the pain and the anxiety and the suffering which their parents would be experiencing. Is it not? Right? And that is fine. That's how this world works, right? To develop that attachment to Krishna is the real goal of life, like Mata Yashoda and Rohini, right? They cannot see even slightest danger. They cannot imagine even in their dreams the slightest danger. This is my Krishna. This is my Krishna. This is my ISKCON. This is my temple. That possessiveness is healthy and should be developed. I was just reflecting. One devotee said, this is my Govinda, my deities. I was like, this is very nice attitude. Unfortunately, to develop possessiveness to material thing, no one has to tell us, right? That's how the world works. We naturally become attached to those. My car, my home, my property, my wife, my children, my husband, my bank balance, my whatever possessions, my job, my company, whatever. But we don't have that much attachment to Krishna or things in connection to Krishna. We should have that attachment. We should develop that attachment, and someone has to remind us. Someone has to. We don't get that naturally because of our attachment to material things. It should be like my temple. This is my temple. I'm responsible. I have to take ownership. It's not that if something is, let's say, broken at home, we don't wait for or if we see something, like one time I remember I was in New Vrindavan. And one devotee, Prabhupada disciple, I forgot his name, sorry. he did a very nice experiment there, like a practical experiment there. And a piece of trash, paper trash, like a ball of, like, and there was a seminar, like it was exactly, this time of the year when they call it like Festival of Inspiration. It happens during like Mother's Day weekend time, or the early part of May. Exactly this time in 2016, I was 2016 or 15, I'm forgetting, but at 2015, 2016, I was there. And then this devotee left a piece of paper, and his seminar was about to begin. He was the person who was giving the presentation. And this piece of paper was at the door, and the seminar, people started to come, devotees started to come. About 300 devotees entered that, or 250, 300 devotees entered that hall. And he said, you know what? I had a prize for someone today, but unfortunately, no one will get it. The prize was for the person who's going to pick that trash and put it in the dustbin. But 250 of you, I was also in that. So you were not there. So you are great. So you would have done that. But I was 250 of you came and entered through this door. There was only one door to enter, but no one picked that trash. Hare Krishna. Right? So it was a great lesson. I never forget that. No. So we should have that possessiveness. It's my Krishna, it's my temple. I'm responsible. I may not be able to change the whole world, but let me do my best. I really like that. We should have anxiety for Krishna. We should have goals for Krishna. There should be a healthy stress. A healthy stress is, even in companies, they say, if there is no like, oh, temple will run on its own. I don't care. I just go take prasad, come back. It will run on its own. There should be some healthy stress, right? There should be some healthy goals, a positive stress. There should not be too much that one feels overwhelmed and burnt out. That's not healthy either. But there should be some good driving force which keeps us motivated, which keeps us going, which keeps us that, yeah, this is my Krishna, my temple, my festival. And we all should take some responsibility in our local preaching centers, temples, whatever we have, and do our best. We should be part of the solution as much as possible, and help Prabhupada's mission to grow as much as possible. Any more comments anyone has? Still
Hare
audible?
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one small thing. Yeah, I also feel like, but when we are going to temple, it also means that we should not touch anything, when we are going before the Lord. Touch anything contaminated also, right, Prabhuji? But we can wash ourselves before going. Is that okay? Like taking the trash out before going to the temple. Sometimes
I mean, I didn't literally mean that point. That was just an example to show, to take ownership.
yes,
It
Prabhuji,
was
I
a
agree.
paper
Yeah.
trash. It depends if
Oh,
we
it's
are,
just a paper trash. Okay.
yeah, it was just an example. It was
Correct.
a,
No,
yeah.
I'm just curious. I was thinking little in depth also when saying this. So how in that maybe after or before we can do, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, we have to see based on time, place, situations, right? Absolutely. I mean, we have to see based on time, place, situation, like.
Yeah, I was actually thinking myself,
Mm-hmm.
going And before going into the details, will I pick it up? Or, so I was just thinking loud. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhu, maybe we have to pick it up and then wash our hands and say the mantra. Like the mantra is there, right? Our Maha Mantra and as well as the Apavitra Pavitro the Suchi mantra is there, right? Yeah, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, if it's a temple setting, yes, we should certainly pick it up. It was like a hall, in the temple in premises. If it's a temple setting, yes, because we are, I don't consider anyone here as temple guest. We should not go to temple as guest. Any temple, any ISKCON temple, we should consider I have come to my home. This is my home. This is Prabhupada's home. And we should always be in the mood of, I'm a servant here. I'm not a guest that they should take care of me, but I'm a servant here. How can I do my best here? Whether it means picking trash, whether it means helping in the kitchen, whether it means financial donation, whether it means giving a class, whether it means making a garden, whether it means cleaning the bathroom, whatever way they want or the temple authorities want me to serve, I will do my best based on the time, place, situations, and opportunities which Krishna allows me. So yeah, if it's a small thing like picking, if some things like all the mats are disorganized in the temple hall, yeah, and we see that, and certainly we can take a few minutes to organize it. If we see some books are lying here and there and not organized, certainly we can. If we see pieces of some trash paper or just pieces of paper, pieces of cloth lying, then we can certainly pick them, put it in the right place or in the trash bin, and then wash our hands. So certainly. Does that
Thank you,
answer
Prabhuji.
your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow, or later. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Pranam.